Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, March 14th, and my name is Alan. I want to welcome you to my Spiritual Growth Through Recovery podcast. The purpose of these videos is to grow my spirituality by following the Alcoholics Anonymous program, or AA program, of recovery, and by being honest, vulnerable, and accountable. And the accountability part comes in by me doing the research to make these videos and to live the principles in my day-to-day life. Right? I am not an expert in Alcoholics Anonymous, in recovery, or spirituality. I'm only sharing my experience as I go along this journey. I guess the recipe for these videos is I'm going to be reading the daily reflections from the AA literature. I'll share my take on what I heard, what jumped up to me, and then share some other struggles, successes, goals, and that kind of thing for the end of the day. All right. So for today, the daily topic is going to be having a higher power as a keystone. So we're going to be going to the AA Daily Reflections book for March 14th. The Keystone. He is the Father, and we are his children. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arch through which we pass to freedom. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 62. A keystone is the wedge-shaped piece at the highest part of an arch that locks the other pieces in place. The other pieces are steps 1, 2, and 4 through 12. In one sense, this sounds like a step 3 is the most important step, that the other 11 depend on the third for support. In reality, however, step 3 is just one of 12. It is a keystone, but without 11 other stones to build the base and arms, keystone or not, there'll be no arch. Through daily working of all 12 steps, I find that triumphant arch waiting for me to pass through to another day of freedom. All right. So I guess my take on this was in the first paragraph where it talks about ideas are simple. Lean on a higher power and surrendering to that and trying to focus on his will and just serving him however I see that, which is still something I struggle with. It's simple, but it's not easy. It is really hard to get out of self. I'm very me-centered and selfish, self-centered, very self-reliant. We see the word self is mentioned a lot here, especially a lot on pages 62 and 63, because some of my favorite parts of the AA Big Book, because I am a very, very selfish person. So it's definitely not easy for me. And I guess I like the last part where it talks about another day of freedom. And when I think of freedom, freedom from using drugs and alcohol, freedom from myself, because Lord knows life on my power does not work out very well, and freedom from need to control everything. And maybe just enjoy things instead of being unhappy and judging everything that does not go my way. And I guess for a keystone, I think of the word bridge. First steps 1 and 2, I admitted that I'm powerless over alcohol, my life's unmanageable. And part 2, where I can't run it on my power. I don't believe that something better than me, bigger than me, can restore me to sanity. And then we can get to the rest of the steps later. So I guess that's my take on the daily reflections. Now, one thing I did want to talk about is last summer, I took a 4-month sabbatical, quit my job, moved away from my hometown here in Wichita, and moved to Yosemite National Park. Lived and worked there, and I had no intention of coming back. And what I did there is I needed to look inside, take some time to figure out what's going on with Alan. Because in the real world, when I'm using, and I don't want to go there. I'm afraid of something, right? So I went to an AA meeting yesterday, and when I got to the meeting, I'd noticed that I'd been really busy. So I just said, okay, well, I'm going to just step back mentally and just say, what's going on with Alan? So as the meeting started, I like to do journal entries every day and write about where I'm at, what's going on with me. And I didn't have a journal topic. So as I sat back, I just started thinking, okay, how am I doing? And what I came to was how much I struggle with just being in that space again. I took that whole summer and I almost forced myself to have no other choice but to be there. And since I've been back, I find it really difficult to go to that space. And I said, okay, so it made me think about, okay, what else is going on with me? So the topic I put today was rigorously honest. And so for the whole AA meeting, I just allowed myself to just listen. And any thoughts came to mind, I wanted to write them down, just wrote them down. So what's going on with me, both good and bad? And so some of the things that came to mind were things like, how much I really struggle to slow down and just be. I'm continually on the move, and I still desire to alter my mood, whether it be by just staying busy, by maybe an energy drink, food, And if I can't function that way, I just go to sleep. Um, I'm also very proud of the effort I'm putting into my recovery. Month and a half now, and like I said, the only reason I'm doing these videos is for accountability. If I'm going to be presenting this, I at least put the work in, right? Uh, so I'm really slowly using recovery as an outlet. When I start to get uncomfortable and I'm not sure what to do with myself, I'll work recovery. Instead of something I needed to do, it's something I seek out. Okay. I still have some unhealthy behaviors that I need to clean up, and I'm okay with that. It's getting better, and I don't have to engage in those all the time, but it's something I do want to clean up. I really have invested a lot of time in relationships, and they're really worth it. I can see that. There was a time where I felt like nobody cared. I felt completely alone, and of course, the more I drank and used, the more I'd isolate, and then I'd feel more alone. And so, by being sober and working this recovery, I find my relationships to be better. Um, Someone shared in a meeting, that what they do with themselves when they feel discomfort, and I'm starting to take some more positive steps. I'm working the steps. I have a fourth and fifth step I'm going to be working on this weekend, sharing my fifth step. I joined a men's leadership group, and I'm volunteering at the AA Spring Roundup here in Wichita. So those are positive things to do with that time and energy that are valuable, and it helps me deal with my discomfort. Someone shared something about what they think they want out of life. And so one of the journal topics I'm going to write on is, what do I think I really want out of life? And then what do my actions show that I really want? And I think a lot of times I say I want certain things, but my actions show something else. As much as I fight getting quiet and going into that space to see, just evaluate, right? Just be aware. I haven't quit pursuing that, and I'm very proud of myself. But at the same time, I realize something's going on with this recovery. When I work the steps, things happen almost in spite of me. And I see that as a higher power working it. And that's really been hard because I don't trust nobody, not even myself. So I'm grateful for that and very proud of myself as well. I noticed this morning, the minute I woke up, the phone was all about me, and I was kind of disrespectful and dismissive of my girlfriend Amanda. So I didn't like that, and I need to make amends for that. And last thing I noticed was just that, when I got off work on Friday, I was so looking forward to getting off work. But as soon as I did, I was so incredibly uncomfortable. I was irritable and judgmental and just nitpicking and crabby at everybody. And I wasn't like that all week. That just tells me that, I'm a work in progress. I probably didn't take enough time to take care of myself. And these steps of trying to work through discomfort, I still have to work on those. So I just went to bed. I took a nap. I realized that, what, I don't care. As long as I don't use, it's good. So anyway, that's all I have to share today. I definitely want to encourage everybody to take some time, step back, see what's going on with you, and just write it down. Any thoughts that come to mind, be willing to be in that space and allow those thoughts to process and let them move along, and know that they're just thoughts. They determine who you are or what you are. They're just thoughts, and the more we can process those, the better off we'll be. Anyway, hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and look forward to talking to you guys again soon.